What's up, guys? Hey, Howard, what's up? Dr. Jaws here tonight. We are doing the Thresher Shark, which is actually, it's preparing for this has actually turned out to be a lot more complicated than I thought. But how's it going, Howard? And thank you for your art, by the way. This looks really, really awesome, and it fits with the common thresher. Because like when I was setting this up tonight, I was actually really surprised how similar the common thresher and the pelagic thresher were, and it was really hard. Roy, what's up, man? What's up? Cheers, guys. Oh, I got my. I don't think you guys ever seen this. This is my bat mug for tonight. So I got a cup of black tea with a bat mug. So a friend of mine gave me this in college. I'm a huge Batman fan. I don't know if I ever told you guys that. But I'm a huge Batman fan, specifically Dark Knight trilogy. So that is my Batman. But anyway, so I'm excited to go into the Thresher Shark. It was really interesting kind of setting this up because this is morphologically extremely similar to the pelagic thresher, Alopias pelagicus. And what's interesting is that a lot of clips on YouTube and like footage on YouTube, it's actually the pelagic thresher, and people are misidentifying it as the common thresher. So that was interesting to kind of navigate. But we got a lot of material tonight, so we'll definitely dive in. Before we get started, just dumb little fun, cause since these videos are recorded, I think it's fun to kind of like record events of the times. The new Legend of Zelda game came out last Friday. It's awesome. I'm actually very tired, mostly due to this game, but it's very good. I highly recommend it. Even if you've never played Legend of Zelda before, I haven't played Breath of the Wild, to my shame. I have not played it, and I'm still cruising along in this. It's quite fun. So if I seem very tired, it is due to this. I blame this. But also, again, since these are recorded, was it May 2023? This came out May 12th, 2023. And it was just part of our world. So it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. Speaking of video games, we're listening to an awesome soundtrack from I don't think this is a very well-known game called Braid. This was a completely, if I understand it correctly, Braid was actually completely independently developed. It's a true indie game, and it's really a beautiful game. And the music is astounding. So I think, or outstanding. So I think it's going to be cool to have it on in the background as we go through the Thresher. So how you guys doing? How's your week? Tired because I read 14 coasters today. Roy, no. 14, I don't know, oh my gosh, 14 coasters and my head will be, oh man, dude, I don't know if I could do that. 14 coasters in a day, that's crazy, man, that's, yikes, wow. I mean, that's awesome, that's really badass, because it's like, I don't know if I could do, I think I'll tap out at 3, honestly, so, but yeah, it sounds like you had a good weekend. So let's dive into, let's check out Howard's art. Thank you so much again, Howard, for submitting this. This is fantastic, because it's simultaneously showing the behavior, the characteristic behavior of thresher sharks with the whip-like tail, and it's such an amazing evolution too, where it's like this actually stuns its prey with its tail. There's no other shark that really... Oh, thanks, Roy. 3 is a good number. Just saw that. There's no other shark that really hunts this way. There's no other shark that really hunts this way. I kind of think of, in a weird way, it reminds me of billfish, like swordfish, where it's, such a unique adaptation, such a strange adaptation with a small group of animals. But it's really cool, and we do have a little bit of footage tonight showing that, I believe, so that's going to be fun to go into. But Howard, great job on one of the, and I actually did not know this, one of the features, until tonight, one of the features that kind of distinguishes the common thresher from the pelagic thresher is there's a pale patch above the pectoral fins. So, and it's really cool to see that in your illustration. That's actually really awesome to see that pale mark, because I don't think pelagic threshers have that, and that is one way to identify the species. So, also, common threshers have a blunter snout, and this has your illustration has a snub-nosed snout, so it's super, super cool. And honestly, like, Howard, like, this is fantastic coloring. Like, in terms of like I think like the color choices, like with the blues and the greens and like the kind of like neon effect. It looks really great. So thank you so much for submitting this. This looks awesome, and it's fun. Like, I'm saving all of the art pieces submitted for these streams. So when I was checking this one out and adding it to the collection, we have a really cool collection of art. So we're definitely going to do like an end of year showcase, and I think we're all going to be like kind of blown away by like how much has been made for this like on this channel. So it's really cool. So just as a little teaser, Shark Week is coming up. I believe in 2 months. I have it in my calendar. I think it is mid-July this year. But we're going to do a major contest for Shark Week, and I'm so excited to premiere that. So there'll be more details to come as we get closer to Shark Week. But as just like a teaser, I think this is going to be a month-long contest. Not as in like, we're doing something every week in the month. As in like, I think the level of art, or kind of like what is going to be featured in the contest might, I think a month is a nice little window of time to do it. So it'll be really awesome. I'm excited to premiere that. We'll get into that as we get closer to Shark Week. So Howard also sent over, and I don't think I've ever really clarified this, but like if anybody has like material like this, please go ahead and send it, because it's really cool. So it's actually really fun to do at the top of the stream. Any images or discoveries, and as we continue to grow, I might not be able to get to all of them, but like anything that feel free to send anything my way, and it might be featured, such as this. So Howard, thanks again for sharing. This is a fossil specimen of it's an ancient lambda-form, and I had it up here. Claddoselachii, it was specifically, it was Claddoselachii, it was this one, Flyeri, there you go, sorry, yeah, it literally was this one, because I knew a big FNF, but I forgot what it was specifically. But yeah, so I just pulled up Wikipedia really quick, just to kind of have a quick summary of this. I looked up Claddoselachii Flyeri, or Flyeri, but I didn't see a lot of like quick resources on it. But oops, sorry. Oh, thank you. Awesome. So yeah, Flyeri. So, but this is a fossil specimen, and yes, the keels are huge. That is extremely cool to see, because I feel like this is such a classic lamnid feature. Like these sharp keels that help this group of this family of sharks swim extraordinarily fast like a bullet. This is something that's in poor beagles. This is something in white sharks. This is something in mako sharks. And I think these kinds of not this extreme, but like I think kind of across like certain lines of sharks, like ridges on the keels have evolved, but it's nothing as extreme as this. So this is extremely cool to see. Again, a very, very classic lamnid feature. So absolutely awesome. Seeing what we can see, let's see if I can make this bigger. Hold on, there we go, that's probably better. This is really, really cool. So we got these like, for this Chlamydosalachin, we have these broad pectoral fins. You can definitely see the outline of the jaw and the teeth right here. It's a little dark, but this is wild looking. And Howard, do you know where this was collected from? What's kind of funny is like this almost reminds me of a sand tiger jaw, and that might sound kind of dumb because like the arrangement may have changed as this individual was fossilized, but that does really remind me of sand tiger jaw actually, just kind of like that shape. But again, that could have been really altered by fossilization. So, but yeah, very fine preservation. This is pretty amazing. Cleveland, Ohio. Wow, interesting. Wow, because like Cleveland, that's actually really fascinating, because Cleveland is on the Great Lakes, right? So I don't know. I'm kind of interested. Do you know the timeline for this? Because I don't know much about like Great Lakes evolution and like what that was millions of years ago. Because like I know the Great Lakes were glacially formed, but that's like going to be what not Pleistocene. What is that going to be? In the ice age? Oh, maybe it is Pleistocene. Yeah, okay, it probably would be Pleistocene. 362 million. Yeah, so that's completely different. 362 million years ago. That is Carboniferous. No, that's even Devonian? Wait, 362? Devonian. This is a Devonian shark? No way. 362? What? I didn't realize. Wow, I did not realize it was that old. That. No way. Wait a minute. Guys, this. What? That's crazy. That's absolutely nuts. Because, like, okay, so I know, like, in nature documentaries and everything, they talk about how sharks, like, remain virtually unchanged in millions of years. But, like, that's crazy! Like, this is literally, like we're even talking about the keel. The keel being, like, a laminate feature. Something that we see in modern laminate sharks. I cannot believe that is that. I was not expecting that. That's absolutely nuts. Wow! It's so preserved. Not just like this individual, but just body plan. Like you know, it's clearly a shark. The pectoral fins, the pelvic fins, pre-caudal keel, and then the caudal fin. That's nuts. Sorry, you can tell. Like that's just craziness. So, an ancient aerobic sea, Devonian. Oh, sorry. Can you guys hear me now? I might have freaked out too much. Let me turn the music down. Is it seeming okay? Is thumbs up being okay? Let me turn the music down a notch. Sorry. Because I don't know if that's doing that. I might have done it. Are we back? Is that okay? Also, these are braid screenshots, so let's go back to the shark. I think we're okay with audio. Hope it's okay. Let me know if the audio is back. Sorry about that. So I think ultimately the solution is going to be I probably do need to get a new computer at some point, because I think this is probably how the computer is running. And like, I mean, all things considered, it's been doing very well as far as like we have presentable streams. But yeah, I mean, I'm sorry that this happens, you know, fairly often. So I should probably get a new computer at some point. So yeah. I'll make a Patreon to get a new computer. I don't know, it's just ridiculous, but anyway, this shark is amazing. Like this is unbelievable that sharks have like retained this. You know, that really is truly a miracle of evolution. That it's that like it's like sharks are that perfectly adapted to the environment that it's just like you don't need to change it. Like this is what works. This is what wins. This is what is the fittest. So it's pretty amazing. That's unbelievable. So thank you so much, Howard, for sending this over. Let's see what some other details for Cladosolaki. Just checking Wikipedia really quickly. Let's see. Similar body shape to modern laminate sharks. That blows my mind. Not closely related to many other lamnids or the other modern shark. Yeah, it makes sense, but the fact that it's similar to lamnids is just unbelievable. Interesting. So this fossil, Cladosolaki, it possibly does not have claspers? That's pretty interesting. Growing into several meters in length, Cladosolaki is considered to have been a fast-moving and fairly agile marine predator due to its streamlined body and deeply forked tail. From both an anatomical and historical perspective, it is one of the best known of the early chondrichthyans, in part due to an abundance of well-preserved fossils discovered in the Cleveland Shale on the south shore of Lake Erie. Wow, Howard, this is awesome. This is so cool. Whoa, in addition to cartilaginous skeleton, the fossils were so well preserved they included the traces of skin, muscle fibers, internal organs such as kidneys. That's crazy. So it's really cool. This is nuts looking. This is a very interesting. Let's see. Great fossil preservation of black shells, amazing. Yeah, this is a really interesting interpretation. Oh shoot! I don't know if I feel like I'm cutting off the. Let's do it this way. Sorry about that. There we go. Because I don't think I was framing that correctly. There we go. So this is a pretty interesting interpretation. Like the mouth looks so gnarly, and like it looks like for this artistic interpretation, it's 2 sets of first dorsal fins. So I guess technically, unless that's supposed to be like a spine, that's interesting. I mean, and yet the tail, it's like that beautiful lunate tail, so much like, you know, modern white sharks and even basking sharks. This is so cool. The head shape of Cladosolaki shares some similarities with modern frilled sharks, which is cool because like frilled sharks are named Chlamydosolacus, so that's actually, well, actually no, I guess those are different. They have the same Latin root, but they have slightly different. I don't know what the right word is for clado versus clammy. Sorry. While its overall and streamlined body shape is reminiscent of mackerel sharks. This is so interesting. Yep, that was weird. Like other chondrichthyans, the skull of Cladosolaki consists of central cranial cartilage protecting the brain and sensory organs. Meckel's cartilage. Right. Sorry. So yeah, I could probably look at this all day. Actually, let's check out this really quick. This is another individual. Then we'll get to the modern thresher because there's just a lot of material tonight with the modern thresher shark. But that is unbelievable that this is nearly 400 million years old and it's this well preserved. That's absolutely crazy. Wow. So yeah, we need to go to Ohio at some point and like go to on display in Cincinnati. There's got to be some really awesome museums, kind of like showing this. This is unbelievable. So super cool. It's like the lamniform version of the viper shark. I like that. Roy. That's pretty. Yeah, that's actually really cool. Interesting. So, wow. So yeah, this is an awesome fossil. And again, I cannot believe. Wow, look at these. I just can't believe it has the keel. That is unbelievable. Wow. I mean, when you take a look at, I mean, just like, I guess like a mako shark. I wonder if I can get like a good picture. Because it's so similar. Mako shark keel. This usually gets me in trouble as far as the... There we go. That's what I need. As far as like the audio goes, if I do Googling too much, it usually gets me in trouble. But look at that. Look how fat that keel is. You know, this is a modern mako shark. And here's our ancient Cladosolaki. And it's just like... That's so similar. That's unbelievable. You know, these are perfectly designed animals. If you could really, use the word perfect to a group, I mean, sharks, I think, are quite deserving of that word in terms of, like, it's unbelievable. This is 400 million years old, and this is just, again, essentially the same as this modern mako. That's just unbelievable. So, super cool. This is probably one of the best fossils we've seen on the stream, so thank you so much, Howard, for setting that over. That is absolutely awesome. So, Cladosolaki, man, what a shark. So let's go ahead and move on to our modern thresher. And again, I was really surprised. I wonder if I can get this framed. There we go. Okay. I was really surprised how hard it was to find common thresher videos. Because I think, again, this is the species that people see the most on dive trips, is Alopias pelagicus, the pelagic thresher. But this is the species that, when we were setting up the stream, I wanted to talk about tonight, is the common thresher, Alopias vulpinus. And again, Howard, thank you so much for, you nailed that, like that pale patch. So this is apparently, so flanks above the pectoral and pelvic fins white. This is something that apparently delineates the common thresher from the pelagic thresher. So the snout is very short in the common thresher. The pelagic thresher has a more pointed snout. But I mean, when you're diving or if you're like seeing this underwater, I mean, that's extremely, like, that's probably really tricky to tell apart. Let's see, R shark, the tail, the common thresher, the tail is moderately broad at the tip, and the tail is very long. And the difference between this and the pelagic thresher is the pelagic thresher has an extremely long tail. That's not really helpful. Let's see. This is also not helpful because there's no way you can really see this diving, but there's a small groove above the eye. Actually, no, there's a small groove above the eye for both species. Let's see. Labial furrows, you can't really tell. Yeah, this is really tricky to tell this apart. This is really, really tricky. I think, I mean, like, more time spent with these species, you could probably develop an eye for it, but that is really tricky. Tiny second dorsal fin. Oh, this is helpful. Here we go. Let's check this out. Because this is actually a really useful skill for a lot of different kinds of shark species. This is a cool example. So, one way to tell sharks apart, and this is really important for Carcharinus, because there's so many Carcharinus and they look so much alike, is the distance between the first, like, any of the dorsal fins and its relation to the pectoral or pelvic fins. It's a great way to actually, it's a great cheat sheet, or it's a great way to kind of like tell species apart very quickly if they look almost the same as far as color or body shape. So for example, apparently for the pelagic thresher, the second dorsal fin is right behind the rear tip of the pelvic fin, whereas in the common thresher, the second dorsal fin has a bit of space behind the rear tip of the pelvic fin. So that's actually extremely helpful. That might be the most helpful feature, actually, as far as trying to tell these sharks apart. That's pretty interesting. So I know a very famous shark related to that is dusky sharks. Dusky sharks have, I think, their first dorsal fin is right behind the pectoral fin, and there's really not that many. I don't know if there's any Carcharinus that has that alignment, and that's a quick way to tell dusky sharks, because duskies are hard to tell from other species. So, but yeah, okay, so that works. That kind of helps. So, let's see. Oh, Howard, I just realized, sorry, I just saw your comment. You got this cast, so this is your fossil, like the Cladoslaki that we just saw. That's awesome. Wow. That's amazing. Man. What a collection. That's incredible. Roy, I think the common thresher has a rather smaller face than the others. I think you're right. And I think that is, like, it is the snubbiest nose. Like, that's probably, I don't know if that's even the word, but I do think you're right, and it is actually really cool. They identify it in this guide too. Like the common thresher has the smallest nose, or the shortest nose, and then the pelagic thresher is a little bit more pointed. Now, it's kind of fun. You probably notice I have not talked about the big eye thresher at all, because this one is very, very easy to tell apart from the others, and the eyes are actually really weird. Like, one of my earliest Dr. Jaws videos, I think I made, like, and I was like, I think I just got out of college, but one of my earliest Dr. Jaws videos was creepiest sharks, and this was on the creepiest sharks list. It was like top 10 creepiest sharks or something like that. It was something ridiculous. So I was so different. I said I liked American Horror Story when I was in college, and my tastes have changed. Yeah. I don't know why I liked that show when I was younger, but oh well. Anyway, I for some reason I mentioned that in that video. But this shark made the list. The eyes are really, really creepy, because they do, I think they kind of do like, I think possums, like, like land mammal possums, like, or opossums. have this kind of thing where the eyes kind of bulge and you can see both eyes from the top of the head if you're looking straight down at the top of the head. It's a very odd feature. It's a little creepy, so this will be a fun one to talk about someday, but this species, Alopias superciliosus, is very, very different from the other two. It's very easy to identify because of the enormous eyes, and also the sharply pointed snout, so it'll be a fun one to talk about someday. So as far as confusion, it's been these two. This guy is distinct, but yeah, so looks so squished. Yeah. You know, I just saw that comment. So let's go look at some footage. So this is the only thing I found on YouTube where I'm like, that's definitely a common thresher. This is because it has like the white flanks right on top of the keel. So this is from ALB-IFG. Let's go ahead and subscribe to that. And this is, let's go ahead and make this big. This is the only video I've seen that had, it's jumping out of the water, verifiably a thresher shark. So this is definitely the common thresher. Also known, whoa, that's really cool. I've actually never seen anything about thresher sharks jumping out of the water. I know they do this, they're famous for jumping out of the water, but I've never seen video of that before, so. Check it out, look at this. You can see he's got that little snub. It's kind of amazing how snub-nosed the face is, actually, or the snout is. That's very different from other kinds of lanoforms. And the eyes are proportionally really big, but again, it has those white flanks above the pectoral fins. Look at that. It's kind of, I like the look of this. It's kind of cute, a little like it may look a little odd, but it's interesting. It's like such a tiny mouth compared to other like lanoforms. So, but don't underestimate it. It may look kind of cute in the face, but I would never want to be on the receiving end of a thresher shark tail, because normal like ordinary sharks who have normal sized tails, they can cause a lot of damage. I had a friend who, I might have mentioned this story before, but he was diving with a whale shark, and it's like, you know, the most peaceful shark, very gentle, you know, doesn't hurt people, and the tail hit his legs and created this huge gash. It's just because like of the dermal denticles, like the skin is so rough, and the power behind that tail is so huge that it actually left a scar on his leg. So, and you know, that's a normal size. I mean, like, I guess whale sharks are huge, but like it's not a normal tail. Like, you know, and when you think about like this species where it's famous for like killing other fish with its tail, I would not want to be on the receiving end of that. So this is so interesting. Like it's like it's so interesting that the mouth is so small, because it looks like the head is like so sloping and huge and the eyes are so huge compared to the rest of its body. And you have to wonder, like, you know, why is that? You know, like, I don't know. It's funny, like that shot at the tail right there, that almost looks like, let me slow that down really quick. Because that almost looks like, it honestly almost looks like a sword, you know. Look at that. Let's slow that down even more. That's really... It's a beautiful animal. Like, look at that. That's pretty amazing. So, we'll speed it back up to normal. Just this thresher, common thresher, just cruising. Oh, hey, I think... Sorry, I'm just noticing something. thought I got a good glimpse of it. The second dorsal fin, which is incredibly tiny, I think it is lined up pretty nicely with the pectoral fins, where it's like as another feature identifying this as a common thresher. Sorry, it just kind of caught my eye. So look at that, tiny spiracles, really tiny spiracle. This is a very odd looking shark, not just with the tail, but like when you look at other features with all the other sharks we've seen. It's really weird. Tiny spiracle, right there in a very strange position, kind of like in the midpoint of the eye. The mouth is really small. I didn't even notice how tiny that second dorsal fin is. Look at that. That doesn't. It's almost like it's not even there. And there we go. That's actually a really good shot. Look at that. So this is absolutely a common thresher shark. Look how that second dorsal lines up right at the free rear tip of the pelvic fins. So that's actually like 100% confirmed identification. It's really cool. Tiny precaudal pit right there. And then just that blade-like tail. So it's a pretty wild looking species. Like not only like in the extreme features, but just when you look at the subtle nuances, it is a really strange shark. Like, wow. So I'm gonna catch up on some comments. He looks so worried. The size of the pectoral fins. Kind of conflicted whether that's actually a common thresher because it kind of looks like a pelagic to me. No, yeah. So Roy, yeah, it's totally fair. Actually, I don't know why I exited out of that video. Let me go back to that video. Sorry about that. Alopias superciliosus. Because like I just saw your comment. Yes, it's really hard to tell them apart, but this is definitely. Oh, sorry, Alopias vulpinus. I got that confused. We just had it. This one. This is it. It's gonna do an ad, isn't it? Yeah, it's gonna do an ad. Because it does look so much like Alopias. Yeah. This is an interesting comment. The jumping thresher is Alopias vulpinus, but the individual underwater footage is Alopias pelagicus. This actually is not correct. The underwater footage is Alopias vulpinus, because again, when you look at both the coloration, you've got these pale areas right above the pectoral fins. So that definitely I mean, and I know coloration is not the best way to identify sharks, but that was an identifier for common threshers. So Alopias vulpinus. And then this is the absolute best way to tell. It's right here, this second dorsal fin and how it aligns up with the pelvic fins. Like, because there is much more space between this feature and then the pelvic fins in Alopias pelagicus. But right here, Alopias vulpinus, the second dorsal fin is right in line with the free rear tip of the pelvic fins. So this is definitely a common thresher. This one is definitely a common thresher. But to your point, I think most of YouTube does not have this species. I think most of YouTube has the pelagic thresher, and it's accidentally misidentifying it. So for me, that whole dorsal fin or second dorsal fin arrangement, this is the thing I'm betting on, this feature right here. I think the coloration, like that pale area, is helpful. Sorry. I'm trying to get a better shot. I think that pale area right here is helpful as kind of like a second layer of confirmation. But for me, the dorsal fin alignment, like that's absolutely the thing that gives it away in terms of like, yep, that's a common thresher. So, but again, I mean, it's really cool that like it shows like how hard it is to tell them apart. From a conservation standpoint, that could be really detrimental because I'm not sure. We'll check out like the statuses between the pelagic thresher and the common thresher in terms of like how they're doing. But if they had different fisheries management plans, for example, that's going to be a huge factor in terms of like, hey, when fishermen catch this, are they actually identifying it correctly? And the features are just so subtle that it's very easy to mistake them. So, but Love the way they move. Let's see. I'm getting the opposite looking at the species comparison image. Let's see. Let me go back to that. Where did I have that? Because we have... Where was that? I literally had that. Hold on. Thresher shark comparison. I just want to make sure I got that right. There we go. This is it. I'm gonna keep this open. I should not close tabs. Open image in new tab. There we go. Oh, ooh, Roy, I think you're right. No, no, wait. Whoa. Okay. You know what, Roy? I think you got it. Yeah, never mind. I am going to eat some humble pie. I apologize. Damn. Damn. All right. Well, you absolutely got that right. So, because again, dorsal fin alignment, you can't beat it, and you're right. So I got those mixed up. Where's the star? Sorry, Roy, man. Let me go ahead and star your comment because you're absolutely right. So that was a pelagic thresher. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Starring that. And starring that. So good call. Shoot. Damn. This is why we're a team. Because it's like, wow. Wow. You definitely got me on that. So, good call. I apologize. So this is actually a... Damn it. This is actually a pelagic thresher. This is Alopias pelagicus. Let's go ahead and like this comment because this guy was right. Tiburons and Galicia was correct. The underwater footage is a pelagic thresher. Damn it. Wow. So that is actually, you know what? that is a first. I might have to change my heads up or like my display as like sharks that got me in terms of identification. This is actually maybe one of them, the pelagic thresher. Damn it. So good call, Rory, man. I really appreciate you pointing that out because that's also good science too, like peer review. That's really important. So I appreciate you calling that out. Man, so there's no video on YouTube that's correct. Like, so this one's not correct. I am sorry, ALBIFG. This one's not correct. I know this one is. I think they just call this thresher, but I know this one is not correct. I think before we dive into this, let's go look at some images of Alopias vulpinus just to make sure, like just to kind of, I guess, what's the word? Nail down what this looks like. Because I really went all in on that. I thought I had it, but I got the features confused. So there is, I forget where we get this from, and I think maybe it is Fish Space. There's a portal that goes into like really good photos. It's like that Encyclopedia of Life thing. Maybe it's here. This is it. Yeah, this is what I was trying to find. Roy MVP. Good call, man. I think this is the one with the gallery. This global Encyclopedia of Life. So here we go. Let's see if we can get living photos of this. See gallery. Want living photos. Oh, this is cool. Sorry, this is not what we're looking for, but this is that's actually a really cool image. Whoop. Look at this. This is I didn't even imagine you could actually have this behavior where like the fin is like clear out of the water like that. That's actually extremely cool. Wow, that's actually really cool. Let's see. Ooh, this is interesting too. This is, this almost looks like spy hopping. Unless, if this is hooked, it wouldn't be that, but, oh, look at that. So yeah, that is, what a picture. For anybody with thalassophobia, or the fear of the ocean, this is probably a really good image to send them. But, wow. You can kind of see the snout is actually much shorter. It's not like, at first glance, it's not too much shorter than the one in the video, but it's like, yeah, that is a bit blunter. The eye is definitely smaller. The eye is definitely smaller than the other thresher. Wow. What a picture. Yeah, for sure. Sorry. Let's see. Sorry, just saw your comment. Thanks, by the way. Yeah, for sure, man. Like, because it's like, again, that's good science. I mean, you know, like, it's always peer review. Like as far as just, if somebody has it wrong, it's gonna be self-evident. So I really appreciate you pointing that out, because like that's what's most important. Like, we're here to learn. So I appreciate that. And thanks, Howard. As you pointed out, most of the YouTube footage is dubious. Yes. So some of the videos are just saying Alopias. Some of them, like that one, I guess it was like a helpful example of like how like how mistrustful or mistrusting or untrustworthy the internet is in a lot of ways, because that one misidentified that species. So, but let's see if we can get a full body image of Alopias vulpinus. That's not dead. I really hate seeing fishing images. I did see fishing videos of this shark, but I really don't want to play those because, again, I just don't want to support like angling sharks. But shoot, that's not gonna work. I guess we could use like the standard images from. This is interesting. That actually might be also that's an angling image, but yeah, you can't see the full body. I wonder if there's like something. It's actually really interesting how like little images there are of this in the wild. This is actually surprisingly. I'm a little bit surprised how hard this is. Like, of a living thresher, maybe fish base. This is really weird, actually. Hold on. Illustration. Okay. Well, no, that's thresher sharks in general, and this is probably another pelagic thresher. This one is probably. Man, this is definitely going to be, this is going to go down in the stream's history. This shark is really throwing me off, which is kind of fun in like a weird way. ICN, do you have images of the common thresher? No? Alright, we're going to resort to Google, which is not going to be helpful. It's probably not going to be the most helpful. Oh, I was right in there. I know Noah has images, but that might work. This is it. Okay. That has got to be it. Okay. So we can't see the position of the second dorsal fin, but with the coloration, with the white blotches, and the small eye, I think this is probably this would be more this. I think this is a common thresher. This one. What do you guys think about this guy? Dead fish are too distorted? Yeah, for sure. My goodness, every single video, it's a shark getting fished out. Yeah, I was having trouble because like there were videos like with this species, but again, they were like fishing videos. Check images for shark that is common in the same. It's really ain't doing it justice. Yeah, It's kind of fascinating. You would think, and I believe this is the first thresher shark named scientifically. So you would think it would be like, you know, a ubiquitous, easy to find shark, and it's actually proving to be the opposite. So this is very interesting. I think this one probably is a common thresher. Let's put a pin in that. I won't close that tab. That's a pelagic thresher. These are pelagic threshers. This is so strange. Like, you know, you got plenty of living photos of pelagic threshers. And I learned, apparently Philippines is a big place to dive with pelagic threshers. And then you just have these, like, fished photos of common threshers. It's really, really strange. I'm not sure why that is, if there is any reason in terms of like a range thing or what, but there's one more thing I'd like to try, and then I think we should, because I do want to be mindful of time. So we'll because there is some really cool footage of you know, thresher sharks hunting, but Alopias vulpinus Noah, because Noah's gonna have this. Oh, there we go. No, that was the one I. No, is that the one I had? No, this is different. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is something. This is still hooked, but this is with Noah. Which is National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration. So you still can't get a good view of the dorsal fin, but you can see the white blotch. So and unfortunately, this individual is hooked. But here we go. So, man, I'm really, really shocked. I'm really, really shocked that like it's still. I mean, like the coloration is different, and you can't get a good shot of the tiny cyclodorsal fin. But I'm really shocked like how similar it is to the pelagic thresher. This is wild. So, man, common threshers. So okay, we'll keep this image here. You know, if it's Noah, this is definitely a common thresher. If they're saying this is a common thresher, this is absolutely a verified common thresher photo. So. Here will be our star picture of the common thresher in terms of like if we need to reference this. Yikes, that took way too long. So sorry about that. That really threw me off. But it's kind of fun in a weird way. So hey Roy, found footage. It's a guy snorkeling with it and touching it. Unfortunately, it's a YouTube short. We could check it out. Sure there's a common Roy, what do you know what the channel is for that? I kind of want to check that out. If it is a common thresher. So let me know. Just in case there's a delay in the comments, I'll pull up the... Sorry? Hunting. So this is definitely a pelagic thresher, but this was kind of showing off some hunting behavior, which I thought would be kind of cool to see, because I would imagine it would be very similar to how the common thresher hunts. There we go, look at that, speeding up. That's awesome. So actually, and I don't even know if I saw that correctly, but wow, this is so interesting. I think it angled its body really sharply for just a split second when it was doing that whip. So we'll have to slow that down completely to kind of really check that out. That is really cool. So we'll slow it down right when he's speeding up. Or she. I think this might be a she. Okay, there we go. So let's go ahead and slow this down. And see what's going on here. Building up speed. Okay. So it's like it's going completely vertically for a second, for like a split second. And then readjusting. Let's go ahead and replay that. Ascending, then doing this sharp dive, whipping the tail up, and then doing a turn. That is so wild. I know it's a little blurry, but like one more time. Building up speed. This is so cool. Building up speed. Making an ascent. Sharp turn down. And then the tail whips up. That is so cool. That is really, really cool. That is really, really cool. So this would probably be a fun shark to study as far as... that would be really, really awesome to study kind of like the dynamics that are going on. The physics that are going on with like how this animal hunts. That is really, really cool. I want to keep it slow because I really wanted to see it. We saw a little glimpse of it opening its mouth to kind of collect food. I just want to see that. Like at a glance, it looks strange, but in motion, it's a beautiful animal. It's like just perfectly adapted to what it's doing. Wow. Just easily collecting. I wonder if that's why the mouth is small, because, you know, the mouth is not, it's not like hunting with it. It's not actively like catching prey or snaring prey with its mouth. It's just collecting. You know, it's hitting it with its tail and then just collecting. So I wonder if that's why, you know, compared to other lambdiforms, thresher sharks' mouths are smaller. It's a guess. I'm not really sure, but, you know, kind of interesting. Man, so cool. Alright, checking back with the chat. Let's see, the channel is Al McGlashan. Alright, here we go. Let's try this. Thresher. I misspelled that, but we'll probably get it. Ooh, is it this one? Hey! Is it this vertical one? Nice call, Roy. There we go. It's definitely got the colors. And I agree, it's not right. You shouldn't be touching sharks. And I would not, even just out of like, even not from a respect standpoint, I would not be touching sharks. Or I would not be touching this shark from a safety standpoint. No, the colors are right. It's hard to tell where the fin is in relation, like the psychodorsal fin is in relation to the pelvic fins, but this is interesting. But the colors are spot on, so yikes. Yeah, I would not be touching that. Interesting. Oh, hey, this might be it. Not a car. Nice. All right. Thank you, Roy. This is pretty cool. Finding one of the rarest, like, as far as like the shark community goes, this is a very rare video of an actual common thresher. So, super cool. Oh, do I have this still slow? Sorry about that. Do I have that? Yeah, I still have this slow. What am I doing? There he is. Look at that. The right colors. And yep, you can see that. You can totally see that. This is absolutely a common thresher. There we go. right colors, and you can actually totally see the position of the dorsal fin. The second dorsal fin is a bit behind the pelvic fins. You can see it. Not from that angle. Yeah, there you go. You shouldn't be touching sharks, though. You should not... What is this guy doing? Yeah, you should not be doing that. Don't do that. And again, it's not just out of respect. It's a safety thing. Like, this is a shark known for, like, you know, slapping fish senseless with its fin. Like, this is not something to touch. But I just want to pause on, look at that. Second dorsal fin, the space between that and the pelvic fins, and the colors. So... Thank you, Roy. This you nailed it. I think you're MVP, man, because like this is it. This is the common thresher, Alopias vulpinus. So, damn, that was awesome. All right, I don't want to watch him riding it, but it's a beautiful shark. The colors are gorgeous. It has that iridescence. You know, like all healthy living sharks. One more time, just on the part before he rides it, because that's not cool. Shouldn't be touching sharks or riding sharks. But it is rare footage. That's really, really rare. Man, that's wild. Whew. Alright, common thresher. So, good eye, Roy. That's awesome. So, this one is definitely pelagic, so I'll just destroy that video. And let's dive into some of the science in terms of like what the shark needs, what's going on with it. Let's start with, I think Florida Museum of Natural History, probably a good one to start with, just to kind of get a basic overview. Then we'll go into IUCN Red List, and then check out some of the other sources. So, because like the footage really threw me off. That was like, I was not expecting, like I thought I had it, and I wasn't expecting how difficult this was going to be. So, pretty interesting shark. So, let's see. Yeah. Common names for common thresher are fox shark, sea fox, swiveltail, and thrasher. Interesting. Didn't know that. This species is shy and difficult to approach. Divers that have encountered these sharks claim that they did not act aggressively. However, some caution should be taken considering the size of these sharks. They've been known to attack boats. Interesting. Oh, this is... I've never really seen a map like this. This is interesting as far as like the bars here. So, the thresher shark, an oceanic and coastal species, inhabits tropical and cold temperate waters worldwide. It's most common in temperate waters in the Atlantic Ocean. It ranges from Newfoundland to Cuba, and southern Brazil to Argentina, from Norway to British Isles and Ghana. We don't need to go through the entire range, but... Oh, I see. I think this is saying that we speculate that threshers are global, but we don't have those confirmed yet. So, gotcha. The thresher shark is a pelagic species inhabiting both coastal and oceanic waters. It is most commonly observed far from shore, although it wanders close to the coast in search of food. Adults are common over the continental shelf, while juveniles reside in coastal bays and near-shore waters. It's mostly seen on the surface, but inhabits waters to 550 meters. That's actually still comparatively... I mean, I guess it's Twilight Zone, but it is kind of... that's not too deep. That's not really too deep. Thresher sharks are observed infrequently jumping out of the water. They're considered by a highly migratory species in the U.S. by the National Marine Fisheries Service for fisheries management purposes. Just make sure the music is cool. It's going into different kinds of threshers. Not really specific stuff for this species. Bony fish make up 97% of the thresher's diet. They feed mostly on small schooling fish such as menhaden, herring, Atlantic sari, sandlance, and mackerel. Bluefish and butterfish are the most common meal. By the way, fun fact, bluefish are mean. That is actually, that's a very bitey fish. We have bluefish in the Chesapeake Bay, and they are very, like, they're known to be kind of pugnacious and bitey, so just fun fact. They also feed on bonito and squid. Thresher sharks encircle schools of fish and then stun the prey with their tails. It's often done in groups and or pairs. They have been also known to kill seabirds with their tails. Didn't know that. That's actually pretty crazy. Damn. Thresher shark is ovoviviparous. Develops without placental attachment. The embryos feed on eggs passed into the uterus. So this is something that keeps occurring in lamniforms. It's kind of intrauterine cannibalism. It's still a thing with thresher sharks. So interesting. Approximately 2 to 4 young develop with each pregnancy. The caudal fin is proportionally as long in the embryo as it is in the adult. Larger sharks prey upon juveniles, but adult threshers have no known predators. Interesting. Vulpinus is derived from vulpes, which means fox. Okay, so that's why it's called fox shark. I wonder where Alopias comes from. It's called change the current name Alopias. It doesn't say where Alopias comes from, but oh well. Interesting. So this apparently can whip seabirds to death. I did not know that. That's pretty cool. Checking up on comments. Seabirds? Yeah. Yes. I did not know that either. I had no idea that they do that. So that's actually extremely cool. So who is this Indiana Jones? Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about Indiana Jones music, but for tonight, but I thought A, it might have been too on the nose, and B, I don't know. I know Indiana Jones is really good music, but it's very, it's not my style. Like I'm more of like a Hans Zimmer guy. Hans Zimmer is very like, he's kind of repetitive, but it's sort of like methodical and like boise. I don't know, like I like Hans Zimmer's like rhythm and like the methodical approach to it. John Williams is very bouncy, which is, in many cases is really brilliant. But for me, I don't know. Sometimes it gets a little rompy, and I don't really like rompy music. So it was a really random tangent. But I'm a big Hans Zimmer fan, like Hans Zimmer-ish stuff. So I like I don't know what I'm describing. I don't study music, so. So this is a nice IUCN Red List range map. It's a bit more detailed than the Florida Florida Museum of Natural History map. What's kind of cool is here are the Philippines. There's a lot of videos on YouTube of the pelagic thresher in the Philippines, and it's actually really cool to see that the common thresher is absent from the Philippines. So if you see a video on YouTube saying it's a common thresher, but it's in the Philippines, it's wrong. It is the pelagic thresher. So that was something I ran into before the stream, though I'm not sure where the other video came from actually, but anyway. It's cool to see this is everywhere in the Atlantic, Pacific, a little bit in the Indian Ocean, so it's almost cosmopolitan. So, and it's a vulnerable species. I'm curious what's going on with this thresher shark. It is long-lived, 38 years, with large litters, 2 to 6 pups. I don't know if that's really large, but and possibly an annual reproductive cycle. That's actually pretty good. That's pretty fast as far as sharks goes. It consequently has a higher rate of population increase than the pelagic thresher and the big-eye thresher. Interesting. The species is caught as target in bycatch and pelagic and coastal commercial and small-scale longline purse seine and gillnet fisheries. Species is often retained for meat and fins unless domestic or international regulations prohibit retention. Post-release mortality remains a threat. The species is estimated to be declining in the North Atlantic and Mediterranean Sea and is increasing in the Eastern Pacific following regulations implemented in the 1980s. Interesting. Based on levels of exploitation and the estimated global population reduction of 30 to 49% over the last 3 generations, globally, the common thresher is assessed as vulnerable. So it's not the worst. It's not in the worst shape. So vulnerable is, to kind of clarify, because I think we've been seeing a lot of endangered sharks or least concerned sharks. I don't know how often we've run into vulnerable, but it means that it's not quite endangered yet, but there's some very significant aspects of its biology that pose a risk where it probably could be endangered at some point. It's just not at that point yet. So, but the fact that this is assessed so recently and it's still vulnerable, that's encouraging. So, and a population recovery in the Eastern Pacific, that's pretty interesting. It's not often you hear about a population recovering as far as sharks goes, so it's pretty encouraging. Although I just noticed population trend decreasing overall. Let's check out specifically what's going on. And I won't read the whole thing, I'll just kind of scan and catch up on comments too. That would make a wild drawing. That'd be so funny. Yeah, I just saw your comment. Yeah, I as far as music goes, like, there's a lot of video game music uploaded on YouTube, and I'm like, it's not supposed to be there to begin with, but it's also like, I think if it's a video game, it's okay to use, just because it's like, a video game is a complete piece, and it's not just the music that goes into the game, it's, you know, the game mechanics and everything else, and there's just so much of it on YouTube anyway, where it's like, yeah, might as well have it, you know, it's fun to listen to, so. But if it's a movie soundtrack, you can buy a movie soundtrack at a store, and I agree, I don't like the idea of using movie soundtracks. There was one that was actually, I don't know, have you guys seen the new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson? The whole soundtrack is from Warner Brothers. It's actually on YouTube, and you can listen to it. I was tempted to kind of use it tonight, but I was also like, nah, I don't know if Warner Brothers would like that. So I don't know, but it is on YouTube, and it's complete. You could listen to it whenever. It's actually a really good soundtrack. So, The common thresher stock declined steeply in the early 1980s, then stabilized in the mid-1980s after regulations were implemented, and then increased through to 2000 before stabilizing again, with the current stock considered close to an exploited level and unlikely to be overfished. That's exciting. So, in California, so U.S. West Coast. Okay. The trend analysis. This is really. It's not common for us to see this, so this is actually really cool. The trend analysis of the catch per unit effort reveal annual rates of increase of 0.6%, meaning that it's actually recovering or growing. It's wild. However, this is talk about in the Southwest Atlantic, so okay. Steep declines of threshers between 2002 and 2005 in the Mediterranean. This is interesting. So the common thresher is estimated to be declining in the North Atlantic and increasing in the Eastern North Pacific. However, the increasing trend in the Eastern North Pacific is from a managed fishery and may not be representative trends in the wider Pacific. Interesting. Gotcha. Okay. Let's check out some other sources. It's interesting that it's marginally increasing in this area, but then steeply declining in the Atlantic Ocean. Let's check out some other sources. There was one I wanted to kind of look at in particular. Where was this? It was like, was it Food and Agriculture Association of the United Nations? No, it's this one, SIMS. Okay, CMS. So this is really important. The Memorandum of Understanding of the Conservation of Migratory Sharks. So this is actually a really important international body as far as shark conservation goes, and management plans for sharks, or advisement on how what certain shark species need. So SIMS is really, really important. So let's check out what SIMS says about the thresher shark. Sorry, just catching up with the comments. Yeah, I wouldn't use movie music for safety reasons. Yep. And then Howard, no for the Batman movie. So it's I thought it was fine. I'm not a huge fan of it because it's like the new one is it's good, and Robert Pattinson did a really good job. But he actually did a fantastic job. I was blown away. He was a really good Batman. But it's just very dark. It's like literally very, very dark. It's the grimiest, grittiest Batman, and it's just not my style. I think some people really wanted to see that. But for me, I was like, yeah, I like the Christian Bale Batman. The Christian Bale Batman is like dark, but he's also a very hopeful character, and I really like that a lot. So, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Quit. I did not mean to open paintbrush. Let me get out of here. Yeah, I'm a big Christian Bale Batman fan, and Christopher Nolan. Like those movies are fantastic. If you haven't seen those, please watch those. Those are excellent movies. So. Let's see. Common thresher is listed by IUCN as vulnerable to extinction globally due to severe continued declines in populations around the world. Okay. Found in tropical cold temperate seas. It's most abundant in waters up to 40 or 50 miles offshore. Interesting. Genetic studies and comparisons of biological characteristics of specimens from different regions of the world show that although migratory, the common thresher appears to exhibit little to no immigration and immigration between geographic areas, namely between the Pacific and Northwest Atlantic. That's cool. So these are separate populations. That's really interesting. In the absence of records of transatlantic migrations, a single Northeast Atlantic and Mediterranean stock of the common thresher is assumed. Interesting. In Northeast Atlantic, the common thresher has been recorded from this is where the range is. Gotcha. Catch is often unmanaged or only managed over part of the range. The fins are important for the global shark fin trade. It's horrible. The last comprehensive study of trade identifying them as accounting for 2.3% of sharks in the Hong Kong market. Yikes. This is equivalent up to 4 million thresher sharks per year. Yikes. Okay. SIMS is important. I don't have more information on this, so applications, projects. I'm just going to click on this really quick. Okay. The sharks MOU, I believe that means Memorandum of Understanding, has defined general objectives for the conservation and management of species and populations listed in Annex 1 of the MOU. Is this Annex 1? Okay. Current activities in the conservation plan, however, require further specification on species and our population level in order to address their varying conservation management needs. 7 species of sharks have already been included in Annex 1, and a second meeting will consider 22 additional species of sharks are raised for listing. And the common thresher is on this list. Okay. Anyway, sorry, I was just kind of scanning through that. So this is a list of sharks of the highest conservation priority as far as the conservation migratory sharks and their memorandum of understanding, and it includes rays as well. So going through this, short fin mako, basking shark, manta ray, whale shark, long fin mako, great white shark, poor beagle. It's interesting, a lot of these are lambda-forms, and it's interesting that lambda-forms often show up as a high priority for conservation. You got spiny dogfish, or pike dogfish, Wallace acanthius, the big-eye thresher, the pelagic thresher, and R thresher, the common thresher. Lots of mobula rays, the scalloped hammerhead shark, the great hammerhead shark, which is going to be next week. Carcharodon falciformis is silky shark. And sawfish. Sawfish are, I think I've said it before, but sawfish are probably one of the most susceptible groups as far as chondrichthyans go. So, let's see. But Alopias vulpinus was added in 2014. Okay. I'm gonna get out of here. This is just a general page on thresher sharks, so we'll get out of there. Let's check out... Let's check out Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. This is the group that creates all those really cool field guides for different parts of the world. Curious what they have to say on the thresher shark. Sorry, Howard, I just saw your comment. I remember the Batman TV series. Do you mean there's a 60s Batman? I've seen a little bit. It was actually a 60s Batman movie with, I think he had to do something with the United Nations. And I think there's a shark in that movie, actually. And there's Batman the Animated Series, which is something I grew up with. That was really awesome. So, thresher shark habitat. Active strong swimming shark, sometimes leaping out of the water. Oh, this is interesting. Thresher sharks in northwest Indian Ocean and off the west coast of North America show spatial and depth segregation by sex. So that reminds me of dogfish. I know dogfish... Actually, a lot of sharks do that, but I know dogfish definitely do that. Where males and females, and then juveniles, they're in different areas. Some are on the shelf, or one group's on the shelf, one group's offshore. Just based on age and sex. So it's interesting that thresher sharks do that too. The west coast of North America, probably elsewhere, the species is seasonally migratory. It moves northward from Baja California into California waters during the spring. Adult males tend to travel further northward than females. Interesting. Often reaching the coast of British Columbia. Juveniles are found mostly in shallow water, warm temperate inshore waters, particularly off Southern California, where an important nursery area occurs. Juveniles may be less cold tolerant than adults. Aww. So little baby sharks probably like to be in the warm inshore waters, and the big adults who... actually, I wonder if thresher sharks have that adaptation that like white sharks and porbeagles have, where they can raise their body temperature. I'm kind of curious. I wonder if they have that, because it hasn't been mentioned yet. So, maybe they don't have it, but since they are in the same order, I'm kind of curious. Maybe. Behavior is otherwise poorly known, and little is known as sociobiology and behavioral patterns. You know, it's kind of odd, kind of looking across the different sources, oviviparous and apparently uterine cannibal. Like it's interesting seeing the different sources. There's slight variations. I think one of them said that it reproduces pretty quickly. One of them says it's a very slow reproduction cycle. I don't know. It's just kind of interesting. Oh, this species apparently uses inshore nursery areas in temperate waters, east coast United States. I did not know that. I know we have thresher sharks in Virginia, but I did not know that they use East Coast inshore waters as nurseries. Shark matures at between 3 and 8 years old. It's actually pretty young. Maximum estimated age being 45 to 50. Two threshers may cooperate on bunching and killing small fish. Now that is really cool. You know, that's kind of, it makes me think of velociraptors, like from Jurassic Park. That's actually extremely cool. Oh, this is interesting. Some local names. Common thresher, fox shark, thrasher shark, we've seen those before. Long-tail shark, sea fox, sea ape, and slasher. Interesting. South Africa is called a whiptail shark, fin-tailed thresher, fine-sturt sambucai. Interesting. Let's see. Not much more on this from FAO. And no more images either. This is a little maddening. In this illustration, it has the color right, but the second dorsal fin is actually right in front of the. Oh no, kidding! Oh man, this is really confusing me. Sorry, this is right. The second dorsal fin is actually, there's space between the second dorsal fin origin and the pectoral fin free rear tip. Wow, that was really confusing me. Man, thresher sharks, they are really getting me. Let's see what else we could see. We'll probably pull up a couple other things and we might wrap it up in a little bit. Ooh, this is kind of cool. Oh, this is actually really cool. This is the original description of the thresher shark from Bonneterre in 1788. It's completely different. It's more feathery looking. Can I zoom in on this? Look at that. That's pretty wild. So it does have the snub snout and the small eye and the small jaw. The pectoral fins are super feathery looking. It could be because this specimen in the illustration is deceased, so it may be kind of it probably is being drawn from that, where you could see maybe the fin rays more clear, or not the fin rays, but like those. I don't think you would call them fin rays for cartilaginous fish, but you could see those more clearly, or maybe it's artistic liberty. This part is ridiculous. This is the second dorsal fin is not that big, so, but still, it's actually a very beautiful drawing or a beautiful illustration. So. It looks like a creature from a fantasy video game. Yeah. 60s poorly acted. I just saw that the Batman comment. Yeah, let's. I won't play the clip because it's completely stupid, but Batman shark. Batman shark. This is the thing. It's so ridiculous. So I don't know. So Howard, you've probably seen this. Roy, I don't know if you've ever seen this. This is the time that our hero Batman fought off a shark. Oh, I don't want to click on the article. I just want to see Batman fighting a shark. And it's quite a famous. Oh no, I don't want to say this. It's quite a famous image in some corner of the internet as far as like memes, I guess, go. I have no idea what in the world this shark could be. It's a completely goofy rubber shark. It looks like they're almost going for a blue shark, but this is the time that Batman tried to fend off a shark, and I think he used shark repellent, and I know, I'm not making this up, I know in this movie a porpoise took a bomb for Batman, like it took a hit from like a bomb or a torpedo. It's completely bananas, so this is probably a fun movie to do for a watch party. These are fantastic images of Adam West being heroically surviving some kind of Oh, sorry, I don't want to go on Facebook. I don't want to go on Facebook. Sorry about that. A shark. So, I did like it back in 2005. Yeah, I think I saw it. I saw it as a kid. We had it on VHS, which is really funny. That original '60s Batman movie. So, oh man, what a trip. Let's see. Let's check out some. This was an interesting thing. This is a website called Science Direct, and it had. I've never really seen this layout before, but it has this like kind of giant. It's like these little chapters, kind of arranged side by side. I've never really seen this before, so I'm kind of curious of like looking at this. And then we might wrap it up soonish because it's almost 10:30 here, but let's see what we got because I think this might be I'm hoping this is like a good chunk of information. So let's see. I'm just scanning for things. Interesting. Did not know this. Here we go. Demand for shark as food fish began to increase in the southern United States in the mid-1970s, and several pelagic shark species, predominantly threshers, became the focus of commercial fisheries in the southern United States. I had no idea that was the thing, actually. And I'm wondering, because mid-1970s, Jaws the movie, which inspired a lot of trophy hunting, came out in 1975. So I don't know how much of that overlaps with this, but it probably does to some degree. But thresher shark fishery developed in California in late 1970s. At the time, swordfish in California were allowed to be fished with drift nets, which is also effective for catching sharks. Wow. Small fishery for thresher sharks grew quickly, and by 1980 included more than 200 vessels. The common thresher was the primary target in the fishery, as the other two species were less successful in markets. Both the big eye thresher and the pelagic thresher had soft meat, and the latter also had a bitter taste. Interesting. What is this, by the way? This is from Advances in Marine Biology 2017, Jackie King. And this is not listing all the authors, but Jackie King, Cindy A. Tribuzio, in Advances in Marine Biology 2017. This is where that is from. Northeast Pacific Shark Biology Research and Conservation, Part B. Thresher sharks. Interesting. The fishery was centered off Southern California between San Diego and the Mendocino Escarpment. Landings of thresher sharks peaked at over 1,800. Man, I'm losing it. 1,800 tons in 1982. But declined thereafter, even though the drift gillnet fishery was expanded to new fishery areas of Northern California. Gotcha. Later, the California Department of Fish and Wildlife indicated a decline in maximum length of sharks since the fishery began, suggesting a reduction of adult threshers off California. As a result, concerns started to arise that thresher sharks may not be capable of withstanding these fishing levels. Interesting. So this is an interesting chart of landings in general. So we have the big eye thresher, blue sharks, leopard sharks, pelagic threshers, makos, dogfish, taupe shark. This is from a couple weeks ago. All declining. Jeez, it's really sad to see, actually. In response to this, the California Department of Fish and Wildlife implemented regulations in 1986 that were designed to reduce fishing pressure on thresher sharks. These regulations include time and area closures, reduced number of fishing days per season, as well as gear restrictions. These regulations effectively decreased landings in California to under 500 tons in 1986. The landings of thresher sharks continued to decline from then to the present time. Increased landings of common thresher were observed in Oregon and Washington between 1986 and 1988. But did not exceed 500 tons or were short-lived. So what's nice to see is, again, IUCN Red List was talking about how Eastern Pacific thresher sharks, so in this area, are actually starting to recover in population, and this regulation might be one of the aids for that population recovery. So it's really cool to see kind of the history behind that, and to see that now in the modern day, it might be helping the species. So interesting. That explains all the fishing videos. Yeah, like, and it's sad. I mean, it's sad that, like, and it's interesting that that is actually really interesting that the pelagic thresher, which, like in that little snippet where it was talking about how the pelagic thresher's meat is not that tasty, and a common thresher is more. And it's interesting that on YouTube, I mean, you're seeing more eco encounters with pelagic threshers and more dive videos with pelagic threshers, and then with the common thresher, it's more fishing videos. So, I mean, this, like, between YouTube and like the 1980s, I mean, it's such a gap that I'm not sure how much that might relate or correlate, but it's interesting to kind of think about where, because it is odd seeing that common threshers are getting a lot of fishing coverage, but not ecotourism coverage, and then pelagic threshers are getting ecotourism coverage, the dominant share of ecotourism coverage, so, but not a lot of fishing coverage, it seems. So it's interesting. So, and actually, I kind of appreciate the irony in the sense that these two species look so similar, but they're being approached differently. Like as far as the zeitgeist goes, like they're very. It's amazing how stark the difference is. They look so much alike, and yet there's so much more material on the pelagic thresher than the common thresher. That's really interesting. So, What? Sorry, opioids and opioid receptors in fishes? What? This is more of like pharmacology? I don't know. Yeah, this is more like multiple animals, so I guess thresher sharks were involved in that study. Interesting. Pelagic fishes. Oh, hey. Wait. Hey! Oh, this might be what I was kind of curious about. Okay. Regional endothermy. So this is like, I think this is raising your body temperature. Here we go. Rapid and repeated vertical movements and movements across thermal fronts are a common trait of pelagic fishes, and regionally endothermic species are able to maintain a more thermally stable operating environment for their tissues. Thus, for these unique pelagic fishes, regional endothermy provides an operating temperature that safeguards physiological function when exposed to cold ambient conditions. Okay, the capacity for aerobic myotomal muscle and visceral endothermy, defined as the capacity to conserve metabolic heat and maintain steady-state tissue temperatures that are above ambient, has evolved independently in several pelagic fishes like tunas and lamnid sharks. Regional and eye and brain endothermy, some of which results from the transform of eye muscles, has also been documented in billfishes, opa, and possibly with butterfly mackerel. Okay, unlike the central circulation pattern in most fishes where the major vessels are found directly ventral to the vertebral column, the central circulatory pathway of some pelagic fishes, tunas, lamnid sharks, and the common thresher, is reduced, and blood flow to and from the myotomal muscles relies principally on the lateral circulation that gives rise to myotomal muscle-associated vessels. Okay, these vessels act as a countercurrent heat exchangers and enable the conservation of metabolically produced heat, allowing the aerobic myotomal muscles to maintain temperatures significantly above that of the ambient water. So, does that mean, is this saying that thresher sharks do have that kind of, it sounds like it's saying that they do have a form of regional endothermy, which is extremely cool if they do, because like it's like their cousins, like poor beagles and white sharks and mako sharks. That'll be cool if that's confirmed. And I think it is. I'm sure I got this right, because I'm not as good with anatomy or physiology, or not as verbose with it. So, but interesting. I think this is saying that. What do you guys think? Let's see. Heroin addicted sharks. I just saw that. Yeah. There's a terrible, terrible video. A friend of mine showed it to me, where it's, oh my gosh, it's a Jedi. It's a Star Wars. I forgot who made it. Aeronauts made it, but it's a Star Wars dub video of it's basically someone Aeronauts remade and redubbed the entire Star Wars saga, where the basic core premise is that the Jedi are trying to find midichlorians, and the midichlorians are like drugs. So it's ridiculous. It's really funny. Like the Sith are actually like well-mannered, responsible people who just want stable jobs and are doing responsible citizens, and then the Jedi are just crazy people who want more and more midichlorians. So sorry, Howard, your comment reminded me of that. It's actually really funny. So, and Obi-Wan is the life of the party, and he's terrible. But it'll be beneficial for traversing the water column. Yeah, this is interesting. Like, I think this is confirming that thresher sharks have that kind of endothermy. Make sure I got that right. Unlike the central circulation pattern of most fishes, the central circulatory pathway of some pelagic fishes is reduced in blood flow to and from the myotomal circulation. It gives rise to myotomal muscle-associated vessels. These vessels act as countercurrent heat exchangers, enable the conservation of heat. Myotomal muscle temperatures. Yes. Okay. This is it. Yep. So thresher sharks can have regional endothermy. So they can have their internal body temperature be higher than surrounding seawater. So that is really cool. And like high five on that, because that is actually extremely cool. It makes sense because it's so closely related to white sharks and mako sharks and porbeagles. I mean, it's the same order. And like it's a similar ecological niche in terms of like these are fast, predators in open ocean environments. But still, it's really cool to kind of confirm that, like, yes, okay, thresher sharks are able to raise their body temperature. That's really cool. In addition, these regionally endothermic fishes may have the ability to exert physiological control over roots and rate of heat transfer, resulting in maintaining power output at high cycle tailbeat frequencies of penetrating cooler waters. This is really cool. Again, I'm not really a physiology guy, but this is actually extremely cool. This is super cool. This kind of science actually probably be a lot of fun to do. I feel this is really, really cool. I had a colleague who at the Virginia Institute of Marine Science, Peter Constantinidis, I think it was his name. He was doing this with mako sharks. He was studying muscle tissue in mako sharks. I believe it was for endothermy. He definitely was doing studies on mako shark muscle tissue. I believe it is for this reason. So, but this is really cool. Okay. Yeah, sorry. So we got that. So we've got some, this has been a tricky species, but we've got some interesting tidbits in terms of like it can raise its body temperature, it strikes seabirds, and it is kind of recovering in the Eastern Pacific, globally vulnerable, it's declining in the Atlantic, but in the Eastern Pacific it's kind of making a comeback. So got some stuff on common threshers. Whoa, this is, I don't think this, yeah, this is Lamnonasis. This is a porbeagle embryo, so. Oh, there you go. And thresher sharks have intrauterine cannibalism. So oophagy has been documented in short fin mako, long fin mako, white shark. It makes sense. I actually didn't know that great white sharks have intrauterine cannibalism. I actually did not know that, but that makes sense given that group. And the thresher shark. Jeez. The thresher shark has a gestation period of about 2 years, with the young being released from the mother at about 60 centimeters in length and up to 10 kilograms in weight. 5 or less individuals will survive until birth, with many fertilized eggs being cannibalized during development. Now, didn't the IUCN Red List say that this shark actually reproduces in 1 year? That's a big difference. Didn't they say that? Am I going nuts? Didn't they say that? I just want to check that out really quick. I thought they said that. Assessment information in detail. There we go. Okay, this is what's throwing me off. There we go. It is long-lived, 38 years, yet with large litters, 2 to 6 pups. Again, I don't think that's large, and possibly an annual reproductive cycle. So they're saying it's possibly an annual reproductive cycle, but then here it's saying thresher sharks have a gestation period of about 2 years. So that's not annual. Oh boy. That's a discrepancy. It's interesting. This is from, I would probably trust this study more. This is the Encyclopedia of Fish Physiology 2011 by K.A. Sloman and J. Buckley. Social and reproductive behaviors. So I would probably trust this source more, just because IUCN is a summary of different sources. So I'm going to assume then the thresher shark's probably, I'm going to assume that's true then, that it's a 2-year gestation period. Wow, interesting. Anyway, 5 or less individuals will survive until birth, with many fertilized eggs being cannibalized during development. Searching behavior in the uterus when embryos are looking for eggs to eat is believed to occasionally result in injuries to under embryos within the uterus. The searching behavior may indicate the origins of adelphophagy. Wow, this is the strangest thing when you think about it, in terms of, I don't know why, I mean, yeah, this is a very lurid method of reproduction, and lambda-form sharks have this in spades. It's almost like it feels like every lambda-form shark has interuterine cannibalism. This is really wild. So, man, let's go ahead. I forgot to read the author name for the endothermy. This is also from the Encyclopedia of Fish Physiology by D. Bernal. So check that out. But yeah, sorry, I just was reading. Obi-Week no bead. It makes sense for pelagic threshers to have that ability since they travel in rather diverse water conditions. Yeah, agree, Roywood. They apparently don't do well in captivity. Yes, that makes sense to me, Howard, that I don't think the only laminid that does well in captivity that I know of is the sand tiger shark. I don't think there's any other one, because they've tried to do white sharks in captivity and they always die. I'm not really sure why that is. I would suspect because sand tiger sharks are unique in the sense that they can hover motionless in the water. They sometimes gulp air to maintain neutral buoyancy. They like to be around structure, whereas all the other sharks, like the white shark and the threshers and the makos, they need open ocean. They need a huge range, so they don't have the same kind of sight fidelity. Well, actually, no. White sharks, I guess, do have sight fidelity, sort of, as far as like they like certain areas to hunt seals, but they also migrate. So the sand tigers migrate too. But again, like white sharks. It's just such a massive predator that like needs that open environment. It makes sense to me, like sand tiger sharks being so sluggish and shallow water, and it really does hunt around shipwrecks. That it makes sense that that's the shark that does really well in captivity as far as ionoforms go, and then the others don't. Those massive, powerful open water sharks. I don't know. But it is, like that tracks with me as far as thresher sharks not doing well in captivity, because it is an open ocean or coastal pelagic predator. So, but it's interesting. It's interesting that they even tried, to have it in captivity. Let's see. Yeah, this is other animals. Let's see if we can get any other thresher shark facts, and then I might call it a night in a little bit. This was surprisingly, and I really liked the stream. This was a lot of fun. This one really threw me for a loop, which I think is good, and I think it's fun. Every stream is like a little different. There's always something new and always something that's like surprising. This one really threw me for a loop. So thresher shark, like it really. I was surprised in ways that I didn't think I was going to be surprised about this species. So which is cool. I mean, that's what it's all about. It is. This is always about discovery. So. Let's see. This is more about population in general. This one. Oh, this is cool. Okay. This is another confirmation. I think this will be the last thing, and then I'll wrap it up for tonight. But this is talking about so the effects of water temperature and physiology, the seawater environment and ecological adaptations. This is Francis Dipper from Elements in Marine Ecology, 2022. This is a brand new study. This is really cool. This is talking about the same thing as far as like these kinds of sharks and thresher sharks being able to raise their body temperature. Elevated core temperature maintains hunting efficiency in cold water and is one of the reasons for the cosmopolitan distribution of white sharks. This mechanism is an effective system of heat recycling, where specialized blood vessels networks recover muscle-generated heat and transfer it to freshly oxygenated but cold blood flowing from the gills. These bundles of blood vessels are called rete mirabile. Core temperature can be elevated 10 to 20 degrees Celsius above ambient. 2 out of 5 landed sharks, the shortfin mako and poor beagle, as well as a singular thresher shark, grace the waters around the British Isles thanks to this adaptation. So that is a really cool way to phrase that. Several species of tuba and billfish also have it. So this is talking about the feature in general, but it's really cool to confirm that, like, yes, thresher sharks raise their body temperature, just like poor beagles, makos, and great whites. So that's really cool. So, all right. I think with that, we'll wrap it up for tonight. But this guy, or girl, this one's a girl, Alopias vulpinus thresher shark, surprisingly surprising. I was really, really pleasantly surprised by some of the things that we learned tonight, and also just like how surprising it's surprising like how tricky it was to get positive ID on this species as far as like the interwebs go. So it was a cool experience and a cool adventure. So let's see. I'm just catching up on the comments. I think you're right. The electrical signals in the tanks drive white sharks nuts, and they batter their heads against the side of the enclosures. Howard Care. I didn't know that part of captivity, because I always felt like they were just being like nutritionally denied or like behaviorally denied. But that's interesting. I did not know that about electrical signals for white sharks in captivity. That are probably sudden changes in water environment that cause white sharks to either stress out or have more health problems. Yeah, that's a good point too, Roy. So, yeah, it's just interesting. Like, many people have tried, many aquariums have tried, again and again, and they probably should know by now. Like, they've really tried to have white sharks in captivity, and they've never been successful with it. And it's just the biology and ecology of that species. Yeah. This shark, oh, I just saw this comment. This shark is very underappreciated. Yes, I'm really glad we could shed light on thresher sharks. And I'm really glad that we got to do this where, in a sense, that we got to talk about its conservation, its biology, some unique facts about it, and then also highlight that, yeah, this is actually something we probably need to learn more about. And we should do more, like, ecotourism with it if we can, or, like, more, like, for any, like, underwater cinematographers out there, please dive with this species more and show us more of this species, because it's like, we would really appreciate more videos on threshers. So, but thank you guys so much for watching tonight. Next week, because we've got our Q list, we've got the great hammerhead, which fortunately is an unmistakable species. It is the largest and most superlative of the hammerhead sharks. It is one of the big stars in my critically endangered sharks video, so it's a species that I really enjoy talking about, and I'm really excited to dive in. So let me know if you guys have any fun music suggestions for the great hammerhead. Feel free to just leave a comment whenever, or just in this video, or I guess any video really. But if you have any suggestions for music, I'm also on the Dr. Jaws Facebook page as well. But hope you guys have a really great rest of your week, and thanks so much for joining again. Hope you guys get a chance to maybe watch some Batman. It's literally just because I have this mug, and Batman showed up quite a bit tonight, so which is pretty fun. So, but cheers, guys. Have a great week, and thanks again, Howard. Thanks again for your drawing and like the like the fossil shark. That was Chlamydosolacus. So thank you so much for sending that. So, but cheers, guys. Have a great night as well. Bye.